You know the drill, right? Creating passwords, immediately forgetting them, and then hitting that reset password button over and over again. It's frustrating. But what if the problem isn't your memory? What if the entire system we've been using is just fundamentally broken? Today, we're going to explore a massive shift, a revolution really, that's being born from blockchain technology. We're talking about a future where your digital identity, it's actually yours, not just another line item in some company's giant database.
And this, right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the problem. Think about it. The frameworks we use for banking, for social media, even for healthcare, they were built for a totally different era of the internet. They just aren't equipped to protect us in the hyper-connected, data-heavy world we live in now. It's a system that's literally straining at the seams, and we need to understand exactly why.
So let's start with the most obvious culprit, the one we all love to hate, the password. We all know the frustration, but I don't think most of us realize just how big of a problem this really is.
Over 100. That is 100 different doors, 100 potential points of failure. And let's be honest, most of us reuse the same passwords, right? So when one of those doors get kicked in, it can set off a catastrophic domino effect, putting our entire digital lives at risk.
This quote, it's so simple, but it completely changes how you think about cybersecurity. We have this image of hackers as these geniuses typing furiously, breaking down digital walls. But the reality? It's way less dramatic and a lot more scary. Most of the time, they just walk right in the front door using stolen keys, our stolen passwords. Okay, brace yourself for this number. 96%. Let that sink in for a second. That means that almost every single data breach you have ever read about, ever seen on the news, probably started with a compromised password. It's not about some wildly sophisticated attack, it's about a system that is, at its core, fundamentally flawed. But here's the thing. Weak passwords? They're just a symptom. The real disease, the root cause, is something much bigger and more structural. It's all about how our identity data is stored and who controls it. And that brings us to the hidden danger of centralization.
This is a pretty profound and honestly unsettling idea when you really think about it. Your digital self isn't actually yours. It's an entry in a database owned by Google or your bank or Facebook. So when their database gets breached, it's your identity that gets stolen. You're not in control at all.
So let's look at the two models, side by side. On the left, you've got the world we live in now, the centralized system. It's one big server, like a digital Fort Knox that acts as a giant honeypot for attackers. And your data, it's treated as their asset. Now on the right, you see the decentralized model. Your identity is stored with you, on your device. There's no single target for hackers to aim for, and you get to decide what you share. It's a complete flip of the script.
So, if centralization is the big problem, then the solution is pretty clear, right? We have to cut out the middleman. And this is exactly where blockchain technology steps in. It lets us create a secure, shared record that no single company or person controls. And that opens the door for a brand new kind of identity, one that you and only you actually control.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, imagine your driver's license, your college diploma, your important medical records, all of them existing as these super secure encrypted files inside a digital wallet on your phone. Anyone can verify they're real, but they are owned and controlled only by you.
I love this metaphor because it just perfectly captures this huge shift in power. You don't have to rely on some random string of letters and numbers you can't remember anymore. Instead, your unique presence, secured with something like your fingerprint or face, becomes the authority. You literally are the password. You are the key.
Okay, here's a real-world example. Say you want to buy something from a website that needs to know you're over 21. Today, you might have to send a photo of your license, showing your name, your address, your exact birth date, everything. In this new world, the website just asks your digital wallet, is this person over 21? Your phone buzzes, you approve it, and the only thing the website gets back is a simple, verified yes. That's it. No extra private info. That's what we call privacy by design. And listen, this isn't some science fiction fantasy for the distant future. This technology is actually being rolled out right now in some really important places all over the world.
I mean, we're talking about governments using this for citizen ID. We're seeing banks use it for more secure logins, universities for instantly verifying diplomas, and hospitals for protecting sensitive patient data. These are major institutions, and they're betting on this technology because it solves massive, real-world problems with fraud, privacy, and trust.
So what's the secret sauce? Why is this system so much more secure? It's simple, really. When you decentralize identity, you get rid of that single point of failure.
There's no central database for hackers to attack. There's no giant digital treasure chest just sitting there, waiting to be stolen. The value is spread out, which makes a huge, catastrophic breach practically impossible. But of course, a revolution this huge doesn't happen overnight, and it's definitely not without its challenges. It's really important that we're realistic about the bumps in the road ahead.
This is probably the first question everyone asks, and it's a huge one. If you are the only one with the key, what happens if you lose it? Right now, developers are working hard on creating secure and easy-to-use recovery methods that don't just create a new backdoor for someone to exploit.
And then there's the legal side of things. For this to really take off, it needs to be accepted by official institutions. Is a border agent going to accept a digital passport on your phone? Will the DMV recognize a decentralized license? The tech and the laws have to move forward together.
And finally, there's the massive technical mountain to climb. Can these blockchain networks actually handle the traffic of billions of people authenticating themselves every single day? Scaling this up to a global level is, without a doubt, a monumental engineering challenge.
You know, as we start to wrap this up, it's so important to remember what this is really all about. We're not just talking about a better way to log into websites. We're talking about the digital version of you, your accomplishments, your credentials, your actual personhood. And that, right there, is the ultimate promise of this whole revolution. It's about taking back control, reclaiming our privacy, and establishing true ownership over our digital selves. The road is definitely long, but the destination, well, it's a world where your identity, finally, belongs to you.